So hello dear student. So in the previous class we have learned about the first law of motion, which is also called the law of inertia. And that law we have learned that if any object, if it is in motion, it will try to continue its motion. Means if it is in motion, it will try to be in motion, or if it is in rest, it try to be in rest. That means every object want to continue its state of motion, and that property is also known as the inertia of the object. Every object have some inertia. Okay, so inertia, it is the resistance to the change of state of motion. Simple words, very simple. Inertia is a property by which a body resists to change the state of motion. इनर्शिया एक ऐसी प्रॉपर्टी है जिसके कारण कोई भी बॉडी अपनी स्टेट ऑफ मोशन को चेंज करना नहीं चाहती या उसे बरकरार रखना चाहती है. ठीक है. सो टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू अंडरस्टैंड हाउ द मास इज रिलेटेड विद द इनर्शिया. ओके, means if the body have more mass, it will have more inertia, and if the body have less mass, it will have less inertia. Now imagine a situation in which I have a two ball. This ball is of 100 kg, okay, and this ball is of 1 kg, okay, and they are moving with a velocity of, both balls are moving with a velocity of 2 meter per second, okay. Now do you think which ball is easy to stop? Means suppose you are standing here and you want to stop this rolling ball, in which case you find it will be more easier. Surely we can say the one to it, there will be less effort required for this 1 kg ball. Why? Because it have less inertia. Whenever we are stopping a ball, we are changing the state of motion of the ball. And in that case ball don't want to come in the state of motion of rest. Ball don't want to come in the rest, and this opposition is less in this 1 kg ball, and this opposition is more in 100 kg ball. That is, we can say that inertia is directly proportional to mass. If the mass of the body is more, then the inertia of the body is more. Okay, now we are moving toward the next section, that is the second law of motion. Okay, so before that we have to learn the very important quantity that is known as the momentum. So what is momentum? So momentum, dear student, if there is a ball, okay, and it is rolling on a ground, its motion is characterized by two physical quantities. One its mass and other is its velocity. Okay, means every object which is in motion can be characterized by the two important properties. One is the mass of the object and another is the velocity of the object. Means momentum is the physical quantity that describes in motion how much mass and how much velocity is. Means momentum signifies, or momentum describes that in a motion of object it carries how much mass and how much velocity. Okay, so momentum is and this is the in general we can say, and theoretically momentum is the product of mass into velocity. Momentum is a vector quantity, so theoretically momentum is a product of mass into velocity. What it signifies, what is practical sense? It signifies how much mass and how much velocity is in motion of an object. Means suppose this is a 1 kg object, and in the previous case there is a 100 kg of ball. So where we find that it is very harder to stop a ball of 100 kg. Why? Because it have more momentum. Suppose there is a ball of 100 kg. Suppose this is a ball of 100 kg, and you want to stop this ball. It have more momentum, or you can say more inertia. Okay. So here we are concerning about the momentum. If the mass of the ball is more, it will have more momentum. If the velocity of the ball is more, it will have more momentum. Means momentum signifies how much mass and how much velocity in the motion. And theoretically we are describing momentum as the product of the mass and velocity of the object. Theoretically we are defining momentum as the product of mass and velocity of the object. Okay, so that is the theoretical definition, and practically it signifies how much mass and how much velocity in the motion. Okay, Now we will talk about the what is the SI unit. For SI unit, we have to consider SI unit. We have P equal to mv. M is measured in kg, and velocity is measured in meter per second. So the SI unit of momentum will be kg meter per second. So this is the SI unit. This is the SI unit, or the unit in which we measure the momentum. Okay. So up to this part, if you have understand, then we are ready to go to learn the second law of motion. Okay. So second law of motion. Second law of motion. Now consider this is a ground surface I am drawing. Consider a object in which you are applying a force. Okay, so this is the initial position. This is the initial position, or here the object having velocity u and mass is m. Okay, now you increase your force. So that the velocity will change after some time. Where the velocity will change, and here the mass is m, but the velocity is changed. So to change the velocity of the object, you apply more force. Okay, to change the velocity of the object, you apply more force. So here there's one quantity is force and other quantity is momentum, and here you can see if you apply more force, there's a change in momentum take place. That means that force is directly proportional to the change of momentum. Here how much change of momentum? That is the final momentum. This is the final momentum. Okay, so m into v, m into u. This is the initial momentum, and this is the final momentum. So force is proportional to the change of momentum, Pf minus Pi. Okay, so here force is related with the momentum. How? Force is directly proportional to the change of momentum, because you apply more force, so there is a great change of momentum. There is a more change of momentum. So here I am again repeating the same word, the change of momentum, because force is directly proportional to the change of momentum of an object. Now another thing that take place while changing the momentum from Pi to Pf, or you can say while changing the velocity from u to v, it will take some time. So we can say that this change of momentum take place with respect to time. This change of momentum is taking place with respect to time. So we can say that, so whenever we are applying the force is directly proportional to the change of momentum, and this change of momentum is taking place with respect to time. It will take some time. So we can finally write it, F is proportional to the change of momentum, final momentum minus initial momentum upon t. Okay, we can write it, F is directly proportional to the change of final momentum, with respect to time. So the change of momentum is taking place with respect to time. So whenever we remove the proportionality, we get some constant. Okay, that is the rule of math. So F equal to k. Now what is this final momentum is mv minus mu divided by t. F equal to, this is the constant k. If we take m common, so v minus u divided by t. And what is v minus u upon divided by t? It is acceleration. Okay, so F equal to k ma. Now is k is a constant whose value is 1. K is a constant whose value is 1. So if k equal to 1, then F equal to ma. That is the equation of the second law of motion. So that is the mathematical equation of the second law of motion. Force equal to mass into acceleration. So basically second law of motion relates the force with the change of momentum. Okay, second law of motion relate the force. If we applying some force to a body, so whatever the force is applied is equal to the rate of change of momentum. that the second law tells. Means whenever if we apply the more force, the change of momentum will take more with respect to time. If you apply less force, the change of momentum will take less with respect to time. Or we can say second law of motion briefly tell us about whatever the change of momentum is taking place with respect to time. So second law of motion relates the force on one hand to the change of momentum with respect to time on the other hand. Okay. So that is all about the second law, and this is the derivation of the second law of motion. Force is proportional to the change of momentum, final momentum minus initial momentum, and that is also take place with respect to time. So force is proportional to Pf minus Pi upon T. I substitute the value of Pf mv and Pi mu upon T, and taking the m common, so m f equal to Km v minus u upon T, and v minus u upon T here a equal to not here v minus u upon T. This quantity is acceleration, so I have written down here f equal to k into ma, and if k equal to 1, the f equal to ma. That is the second law of motion derivation. And what is theory? The second law of motion, the force is directly proportional to the rate of change of momentum. Okay, thank you.